Here are our top stories. Tinubu to address world leaders at United Nations General Assembly, September 24th. Federal government unveils 26 new trade skills in overhauled technical education curriculum. Naira rallies at 1,500 naira per dollar as reserve climb past 41 billion United States dollars. And Ghana accepts Nigerians, other West Africa deported from the United States. And on sport, Venezuela sack coach after crushing World Cup exit. Now to the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is set to address global leaders at the 80th section of the United Nations General Assembly in New York on September 24th. The 80th UNGA 10 Better Together, 80 years and more for peace, development and human rights, opened on September the 9th with high-level debates scheduled to begin on the 23rd. According to the reverse provisional list, Tinubu is listed as the 17th speaker during the African section on day 2. This slot could, however, shift if he is unavailably absent. This year's section begins together, or rather brings together 195 leaders, including 98 heads of state, 44 heads of government, and top ministers. The gathering will spotlight pressing global issues from peace and security to health, climate change, and human rights. President Tinubu's address is expected to outline Nigeria's priority on the international stage while reaffirming its commitment to multilateral cooperation. The federal government has announced a sweeping reform of technical education, unveiling 26 new trade areas set to take effect from the 2025-2026 academic section. According to the Ministry of Education, all federal science and technical colleges will transition into full-fledged federal technical colleges with students required to take at least one trade course alongside general subjects. Education Minister Tunji Aloasa said the reforms will reduce curriculum overload while empowering students with practical skills for self-reliance and national development. The 26 modelized traders are designed to reflect industrial needs and produce a more skilled workforce for Nigeria. The new curriculum also introduces citizenship and heritage studies, a subject combining Nigerian history, civic education, and social studies aimed at strengthening national values and identity. Away from education, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has given the federal government a fresh 24-hour ultimatum to meet its outstanding demand after the expiration of an earlier 10-day deadline. The decision followed a 6-hour virtual meeting of the Association National Executive Council. The NARD president, Dr. Tope Osundara, acknowledged government assurance but insisted on immediate payment of funds and implementation of agreements, stressing that over 2,000 resident doctors are still awaiting their entitlement. He warned that if the government fails to act within 24 hours window, resident doctors nationwide will commence on an indefinite strike from Friday, potentially crippling healthcare services across federal and state hospitals. Former Senate leader Ali Dume has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ignore calls for the removal of Nigerian service chief, stressing that they have the training and experience to handle ongoing security challenges. Dume dismissed the Northern Ethnic National Forum's demand for the sack of military leaders, describing the accusation of incompetence as baseless and politically motivated. Instead, he recommended what he calls a team approach: training, equipment, ammunition, and motivation, urging that boosting welfare and firepower will strengthen the armed forces' fight against terrorism, banditry, and insurgency. Dume decried the low morale among troops, pointing out that the private earns about 100,000 naira monthly with 5,000 naira daily allowance, which he described as inadequate. He praised the Tinubu administration for maintaining ethno-religious balance in the current security leadership. The senator insisted that removing the service chief now will be counterproductive. The House of Representatives Committee on Appropriation has drilled Finance Minister Wale Adun and Budget Minister Atiku Bagudu over delays in the implementation of the 2024-2025 Appropriation Act. Committee Chairman Abaka Bichi told journalists after a closed-door section that Nigerians were worried about the pace of budget execution. but both ministers pledged to accelerate delivery. Finance Minister Wale Adun disclosed that about 80% of the 2024 budget had been implemented as of September, with priorities on grassroots projects, critical roads, and irrigation. Edu ruled out any supplementary budget for 2025, while Bagudu assured that reforms under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration are already yielding results, stressing a cordial working relationship between the executive and the National Assembly. We need to go on a break, but when we come, more news across Nigeria, foreign, and sports. Join us again.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. The Naira has continued its upward momentum, closing at 1,500 Naira to the US dollar at the official market on Wednesday. The second consecutive day it traded below the 1,500 mark. Data from the central bank shows the Naira traded between 1,498 Naira and 1,507 Naira to the dollar, mirroring gains also seen in the parallel market, where rates firmed to about 1,550 Naira. Analysts credit the rally to rising foreign reserve, now at 41.59 billion United States dollar, the highest in months, supported by increased oil production, higher capital inflows, and moderating inflation. With external reserve now covering nearly 10 months of import, experts said the stronger Naira boosts investors' confidence and eases pressure on households and businesses. But they warn sustained gains would depend on stable oil earnings and economic discipline. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority has directed domestic airlines to place unruly passengers on a blacklist as part of efforts to protect airline staff and improve travel safety. The NCAA's Director of Public Affairs, Michael Achimogu, said the move is meant to deter disruptive behavior and ensure that the crew members are treated with dignity and respect. The directive follows repeated complaints of verbal and physical assault on airline staff during flight delays and cancellation. Airlines present at the regulatory meeting include Air Peace, Arik Air, Ibon Air, Green Africa, and others. The authority also discussed issues of refunds, compensation, baggage handling, and introduction of RFID back tags. Officials insist airlines must do their part to protect customers, while passengers must learn to respect aviation rules. Away from that, Ghana has begun receiving West African nationals deported from the United States of America, including Nigerians. President John Dramani Mahama confirmed on Wednesday the first batch of 14 deportees made up of Nigerians, a Gambian, and other nationals have already arrived in Accra, the Ghanaian authorities facilitating their return to their home countries. President Mahama explained that the United States approached Ghana to accept third-party nationals, and the government agreed since fellow West Africans do not require a visa to enter Ghana. Meanwhile, Nigeria has rejected similar overtures from Washington. Foreign Minister Yusuf Taga stated in July that the federal government will not accept deportees from outside Nigeria, citing national security and economic concerns. This agreement follows Washington's intensified deportation drive under President Donald Trump, who has struck similar deals with countries like Rwanda, Eswatini, and South Sudan, despite strong criticism from human rights groups observers warned the new move could test regional solidarity in West Africa, so the countries weigh the benefits of cooperation with the United States against the risks of domestic backlash. And still on the foreign scene, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has sacked British Ambassador to the United States Peter Madsen after explosive revelation about his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The Foreign Ministry confirmed on Thursday that Madsen was withdrawn with immediate effect after newly uncovered email showed him defending Epstein following a 2008 conviction. In the emails, Madsen reportedly told Epstein he was here whenever you need and even urged him to fight for early release. The Labour veteran also suggested Epstein's first conviction was wrongful. Madsen, once dubbed Labour's Prince of Darkness, has twice resigned from government in the past controversies. Speaking to the BBC, he admitted he relied on false assurances of Epstein's innocence. The scandal has sent shockwave through Westminster and cast a shadow over Starmer's young government. And talking sport, Venezuela national football team has parted ways with head coach Fernando Batista and his entire technical crew following the country's failed World Cup qualification campaign. The decision came after President Nicolas Maduro called for a total restructuring of the Vinotinto technical crew, describing Tuesday's heavy home loss to Colombia as a painful defeat. Venezuela, the only CONMEBOL nation never to qualify for the World Cup, has hoped the expanded for the 2026 tournament will boost their chances, but their defeat left Bolivia claim the playoff spot after a surprise win over Brazil. In the aftermath, Peru also dismissed their coach, Oscar Ibanez, after finishing just 2 wins from 18 games. For Venezuela fans, Batista exit signals yet another painful reset in their long pursuit of a maiden World Cup appearance. And still on sports, Denmark international Christian Eriksen has joined German Bundesliga side Wolfsburg on a free transfer, signing a deal that runs until 2027. The 33-year-old midfielder, who was released by Manchester United at the end of last season, says he's excited for the new adventure and confident of making a difference at the club. This move marks Eriksen's third cup since his dramatic cardiac arrest during the 2021 Euros. After stints at Brentford and United, the playmaker now links up with 5 other Danes already in Wolfsburg squad. Eriksen has earned 144 caps for Denmark, scoring 46 goals, and his Bundesliga switch signals yet another chapter in a remarkable career comeback. And that's the news. Thanks for remaining with us on Atlantic TV. Remember, you can send any news report to us on social media and also follow us on our different social media platforms. God bless you. Have a great day.